The Fixed Liberty podcast is presented by the Fixed Liberty Project, where we explore the fundamental principles of liberty and morality upon which a free society stands and thrives. Learn more and sign up for our free weekly email newsletter at fixedliberty.com.
Welcome to the Fixed Liberty Podcast. Today is March 19th, 2023. I am your host, Ross Brown. So good to be back with you here on the show today. My goodness, it has been about a month since I have published a new podcast episode, so I hope this show finds you well. No, I haven't quit. No, I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. I've just been busy. Honestly, really busy with some other work here at the Fixed Liberty Project. You may already know, if you listened to the introductory episode to this podcast, you know that my real quest in all of this so far is to write a book. And so with that, I'm doing a lot of research, and I've been studying in recent weeks the Federalist Papers, which I've already read all the way through. But I always go through my books a second time to extract all of my research notes out of the readings that I do. And so in recent weeks, I've been really busy, focused on extracting my research notes out of the Federalist Papers. Happy to say that I'm about 40% of the way through that process. It's going very well, really enjoying the study. But that's what I've been up to in the last number of weeks. So I do expect to wrap up my study of the Federalist Papers by the end of April, so just a few weeks out here. But before April, you'll recall, comes the month of March. And with March comes a little thing called March Madness. Indeed, March Madness is here, and if you love college basketball, this is unquestionably your favorite time of year. Now, I personally, not a college basketball fan, really just not a basketball fan at all. I'm probably a little bitter just because I'm pretty terrible at the sport, to be honest with you. But I do enjoy sports generally. So even though I'm not into making brackets and following the tournament, I still appreciate the annual competitions for what they are. Because there's no other American sporting event that even compares remotely in size and scope to either of the NCAA college basketball tournaments. Now, as an econ geek myself, the energy that I could spend pondering bracket picks is often actually spent pondering everyday economics instead. So while I can't tell you my picks for the Final Four because I don't have any, I can tell you my thoughts on what I'm calling the Selective Six. Here are 6 brief lessons we can learn about economics and markets as we evaluate the NCAA tournaments. Lesson number 1. The rules of the game matter. Every team pursuing victory in the NCAA tournaments necessarily considers the rules of the game of basketball. What is legal? What is illegal? Which shots are worth how many points? How much time is there on the clock? When does the clock run and when does the clock stop? Every team evaluates their strengths and their weaknesses in the context of game rules to devise a strategy to win. Now, no matter what the rules are, the goal is always the same. The goal is to win. But when the rules of the game change, so does a team's strategy to achieve victory. The same is true for we humans interacting in economies. Everyone is generally pursuing life improvement, which you might describe as victory in this analogy. while considering the rules of society. As we say here at the Fixed Liberty Project, investments chase returns, but how to achieve returns depends on rules of the game. So again, lesson number 1 of the selective 6. Rules of the game matter. Lesson number 2. Size matters. Perhaps the most exciting thing about March Madness, even to a guy like me who doesn't really even care about college basketball, is the sheer size of the tournaments. In both the men's and the women's events, 68 teams from across the nation are invited to participate. Massive competitions ensue, and champions are eventually crowned because they are truly the best, not because their competition was restricted. The same is true for markets. Big markets are better than small markets. When markets are extensive, competition is fierce, and the truly best players win. Human thriving improves in such circumstances. We consumers are more likely to be able to secure the valuable goods and services we need and desire at low prices, and we are also more likely to have opportunities to do work that matters to us. So, lesson number 2 of the selective 6, size matters. Lesson number 3, equal opportunity to compete is best. As we just said, at the outset of each tournament, 68 basketball teams each have an equal opportunity to become champions. However unlikely, underdog teams have opportunities to beat powerhouse programs. And it happens, right? We just saw it happen the other day. Sometimes it happens in the most dramatic form. On Friday, the number 16 seed Fairleigh Dickinson Knights knocked the number 1 seed Purdue Boilermakers out of the men's tournament. The Knights' victory was only the second time in men's tournament history that a number 16 seed defeated a number 1 seed. So, equal opportunity to compete for victory in tournament games is best. Equal opportunity ensures that underdog teams don't start, say, with a 20-point handicap, and it also ensures that powerhouse teams cannot alter rules of the game in their favor. Equal opportunity is also best in markets. Their equal opportunity ensures that small or new economic players can disrupt established industries with better products. It also ensures that powerful incumbents cannot rewrite the rules of the game to protect themselves from disruption. So, lesson number 3 of the selective 6, equal opportunity to compete is best. Lesson number 4, competition improves human capital. Let's open the Bible. Turn to the book of Proverbs. If we look at Proverbs 27, verse 17, that verse identifies that iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. That's the ESV version of the Bible. When we look at the tournaments, we see men and women sharpening one another through fierce tournament competition, and the results are positive. Players' skills, smarts, physical endurance, mental toughness, teamwork, and leadership abilities, perhaps all collectively described as their basketball capital, it all improves because of competition. The same is true for people participating in market economies. Competition rewards excellence and thus incentivizes people to strive for improvement. So individuals and society as a whole, just like a basketball team, benefit as our human capital improves. So, lesson number 4 of the selective 6, competition improves human capital. Lesson number 5, freedom to choose is good. There's a lot of fans out there, and any fan is free to cheer for any team in either tournament for any reason. A person's preference for one team does not interfere with another person's preference for a different team. And importantly, fans do not need to collectively determine their favorite team by any means, democratic or otherwise. And that same freedom is good in markets. Economic liberty empowers private individuals and families in society to pursue their own economic preferences. What goods and services will they purchase? What kind of work will they engage? How often will they work? How much of their earned money will they give, save, or spend? Importantly, economic liberty ensures that individuals and families alike are free to make these decisions for themselves, even as others make different decisions based on their own values and preferences. So, lesson number 5 of the selective 6, freedom to choose is good. Lesson number 6, zero-sum games are maddening. Let's think about March Madness. Why do we call it March Madness? Well, maybe March is maddening because the tournaments are crazy. You never know who's going to win or what's going to happen. Or maybe March is maddening because 98.5% of participating teams lose the tournaments. There's only one winner in each tournament, right? 1 out of 68 teams in each tournament wins the tournament. Everybody else goes home a loser. So surely the players, the coaches, and the fans of those 67 defeated teams from each tournament are all maddened to some degree by their team's loss. And such is the nature of zero-sum games. One team's victory is another team's loss. Now, of all the selective 6 lessons, this may be the most important to recognize. Economies are not zero-sum games. More than one team can win in the economy. In fact, everybody can win. And I'm not talking about some stupid participation trophies here. When the rules of the game are fair and steady, when markets are extensive, when equal opportunity reigns, when human capital is rich, and when people are free to choose, economies thrive and everyone can prosper. Now, perfect prosperity is never achieved in our fallen world. But the critical point is this. Unlike a basketball game, winning in an economy does not require someone else to lose. And in fact, in economic systems built upon competitive free enterprise, the opposite is usually true. Winners win by helping others win too. So, lesson number 6 of the selective 6, very important. Zero-sum games are maddening, but economies are not zero-sum games. Admittedly, the selective 6 might not capture the public's attention like the Final Four this month. But nevertheless, I happily embrace this opportunity to turn March Madness into market merriment. May the best ideas win. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Fixed Liberty Podcast. I'll see you next time.